Welcome to this new video, this new episode of my version of What If Civilization Started Over. This is the 6th episode. So yeah, we're left on this. So with Hellas invading the country here, the people that were here, fleeing in the desert here. I mean, it's technically not a desert because it's still pretty arid, and so let's get started. And we immediately go to Sudan, Egypt thing. So obviously those guys are going to now expand due to their population being kind of crowded here. Because population growth, they have one of the highest population growth of the series. They're not first, but they're definitely easy on the top 10. So that causes exploration a bit more of the desert. Especially with those guys kind of happening. So, but yeah, those guys are expanding, and so yeah, they became kind of a bit bigger. This also causes Ethiopia to also expand because hey, why not? But yeah, these Sudanese Egyptian guys they're expanding. We also have the Greeks, because this has been not settled for a long time. So the Greeks took advantage of this and start constructing small port cities here, basically to control trades going from North Africa to the Middle East and then India. Those things aren't connected, right now, so nothing is going here. And yeah, speaking of Asia, it's East Asia, because technically this is also Asia and this is Asia. We got the Chinese exploring a bit, outside, where they are, following the coast and some rivers. So they explore a bit. They see that it's pretty good land. They realize that they're probably on not on an island, a continent. They know that's basically where they are is big, so they take advantage of this. So they expand on the river here. Up to the lake, and then from the lake they go here, following the sea. So yeah, they also finally build a capital, and it's right here. So basically, in between the lake and the embouchure of I think that's the Chinese Sea. Not sure though. I know there is the Sea of Japan here. But yeah, I'm not sure. I might look it up. Normally, it should be. If I'm wrong, there should be something on the screen right now. But yeah, we go to Japan now because, of course, we do. So we got a few countries expanding a bit now. This is really hard, because of the mountains. So those guys are basically free to take their island, so they control the whole island. We got those guys expanding a bit, mostly following the coast. Those guys can't go coast to coast because again, mountains. Because they mostly stays on the coast here, and they meet those guys. And those guys in the north kind of don't do anything. Those red guys, though, they do try kind of go into the mountains, but what happens is that basically the guys that sent here get lost because again, mountains, that's not really the best thing. So basically they split off, and new countries. So that's going to be really complicated for Japan to actually do shit for a long time. So basically, because they're not even connected to trade, so they don't really get a lot of technology, and because of it's mountainous, it's a pain to actually do agriculture. So yeah, good luck for the population growth. Now we go to India, which is still going to go down the coast. Some of the explorers do go here up, and yes, they do go here and they stop and they come back. So obviously India expands on the they expand on the coast, following some of the rivers. They also expand more into the Indus Valley, because why not? Exploring a bit more, following the rivers. And yeah, so they basically now go all in. They even go in they start to explore other areas beyond the river, and they found another river, so that's cool for agriculture. They also do some exploration efforts with Persia. And again, India most start to expand more into the Indus River, because it's cool. It's oops, my bad. Yeah, they start expanding here, and they go way up north, and also way down south. So yeah, it's really nice for them. And well, yeah, they have a huge population, so that's actually why they can expand so much. But you might notice that they might have expanded a bit too much, and well, that causes some problems, because obviously, while yes, they do go a lot south, most of the economics actually goes to the Indus Valley. So that might have caused some problem later. But we'll leave it for like this for now. And we go to yeah, the Nubian guys. I mean, their whole. I mean, everyone. Not because technically they aren't here anymore. I mean, they still are on the Danube, but not really. So first of all, we got those guys, from those guys, so those guys, I'll call them the Romanians, and those are the Transylvanians. I don't really have name ideas, and no, I won't end them color, because that might really be annoying, and I'm not even sure what color this is, if I'm being honest. So yeah, so they follow a river here, and basically go up to the mountains. I forgot the name of the mountain range. Damn it, that's kind of annoying. And those green guys expanding, following the river here. And we get our Bulgarians, which were originally the Danubian guys, expanding a bit onto the river that is here. And again, everyone is basically expanding around. They're exploring where they are. You also get them taking a bit of land without really asking. That's not really nice, but yeah, they take the land. You got Hungarians who are still like that lake, because hey, agriculture is pretty easy when there is a huge freshwater lake here. So got those guys who start exploring up, because down, well, there's mountains, so they go up, and they found the original Danube River, the actual river, which is nice to them, because that was kind of the reason they exist here. And so yeah, they expand on here to have better actual agriculture. They also build capitals. Those guys just get their capital right here. Those guys, because I didn't give them a capital, get their capital right here. Those guys also get a capital right here, and well, isn't supposed to happen. And those guys finally get their capital right here. Nice, everyone got a capital now. Now we go back to the Middle East. more precisely the northern part, with Greece. Greece is kind of tired of, not going deep, so they go deeper, because now they basically cross the mountains. They realize, damn, that's good farming land. So they start exploring a bit. They found a lake. So they don't want the Syrians to get it. So they basically try to be the first ones going in here before the Syrians are actually aware of this lake. So yes, they expand a bit. They expand here. The Syrians expanding a bit because they heard that there's a lake. So they're like, whoa, that might be cool. Let's check it out. Although they go in the wrong direction, but yes, the Greeks don't actually have enough resources to expand that much to Anatolia, for now at least. The Greeks also expand their mainland up to, well, this river here, and now they even have a border with or the Nubian guys. Whoa, so we'll see where that goes. So also expand here. Actually expand also in Albania, actually connecting to one of their previous colony. And yeah, so now the Greeks are really big in their mainland, and they have a huge navy. They also start expanding a bit in Africa, exploring a bit how it's like, they're exploring northern Africa. Now then they kind of meet up mountains, so that kind of sucks. Oh yeah, and those guys also do exploration to see how deep can they go. They realize there's an ocean here. So yeah, basically they explored like I would say like 90% of the livable Sahara Desert. So now we get those guys, expanding in the areas that they just explored. They aren't really they aren't really sedentary. They're more like nomads because of where they are, and also because there isn't really any any competition, and there's also like money, and so they're trying to get as much resources as they can. So yeah. We got our first kind of nomadic tribe, kind of. I mean, it's not really nomadic, but it's not like Greece. Like they're the most nomadic, even though they were founded by rich people, But again, that's why they're literally kind of going everywhere, because money is good, I guess. Anyway, so yes, the Greeks are expanding their northern African possession here. Again, don't go into Morocco because mountains kind of suck. There's also go deeper here, which kind of annoys the Egyptians. So they take their part on here, and yeah, no more expansion for the small Greek colony, and that even sucks more for the Egyptians because now unless they want to actually go directly to Syria through the sea, which would mean you go through Greek waters, you have to pay tariffs to Greeks to sell your thing here, which kind of annoys also the Middle East because, well, in the north it's the Greeks, and in the south now it's also the Greeks. So nice, that's kind of annoying. And it's not like you can do anything. They're probably they're literally the strongest thing in the region, the richest. They have the highest economy, so there isn't really much you can do about it. You also have those Greek guys who, upon finding out that Greece actually can expand into Anatolia, are like, well, might as well become puppet of our old nation, because don't want to die here. So yeah, Greece gets a new puppet without really doing much. Isn't that cool? Yeah, also Anatolia is fully explored. Yeah, Armenia is also doing expansion. They like rivers, they follow rivers, and mountains and things. We go back to those guys who still think that this Caspian Sea is really important. It is going north. Trust me, it goes all the way here. Trust me, bro. So they explore, and they still starting to explore, and they meet another sea, which is cool. But like they're like, okay, but so that means it's going west, right? It is not going west. So they expand here. It's not like, nah, maybe the explorers are wrong and they did. It's not. Yeah, so that kind of causes stability drop, and the country like immediately collapses. Actually, I mean, not the southern part, but like the northern part actually immediately are like, yeah, no, fuck that shit. That was a stupid plan. We shouldn't have listened. Well, might as well do our own thing, and basically, yeah, tons of countries are created. That causes also a lot of chaos. But yeah, now we got new countries here, and especially with those guys. Those guys they found out that it's really flat in here, so that's good for animals grazing and all that. So they explore large portion of the area. So don't go too much north because it's kind of cold here, especially compared to where they're from, which is the Middle East. But yeah, that causes a lot of exploration up to those lakes. And second, kind of nomadic guys, because those guys obviously they expand into the lakes, because it's good for grazing animals, for horses, cows, sheep, and all that. It's good, so they expand, and those guys basically realize the same thing too. Now the green guys over here, yeah, they don't actually become semi-nomadic, so that's cool. So yeah, China might be reached sooner than you thought. Yeah, and they might also get invaded. I don't know, man. I'm just doing shit. Now going back into India. India collapses. It's not like no, it's over. It completely collapses. The northern parts are the first one to leave, which might seem weird at first, but they're pretty far from the actual government, so that actually kind of makes sense. Then you get the southern part, which actually lives in small parts. So yeah, now this is India. This is a mess. Also, yeah, those guys don't leave, but so they stay connected. I think they just didn't get the memo personally. Yeah, new capitals. There. Actually, it's kind of far from the coast. Why are you doing this? There. One there. And finally, for those guys, it's one here. Oh yeah, those guys also gets their capital here. So yeah, the fact that each of them has still a large population, because again, really good rivers equals good population, because that means a lot of grains and shit. Especially because trade. So now Greece, what are they doing now? Well, expanding in Italy, of course, because they really miss the Italian colony, I guess. So they really miss them. But yeah, hey, the Italians are also expanding, yeah, because they ain't getting, hey, they are not letting that slide. So they are expanding. They are following rivers. I mean, one of them at least. Not everyone can actually expand. Not everyone has a budget. Sorry. You also got the main guys here expanding and declare war on the small guys, and obviously, well, they win and they completely annex them, because if you've seen the size difference and also the population, I mean, no, the population isn't but we'll also go back to France, which it did collapse last episode. That's right. But hey, the Greek puppet is doing something. Oh, they're exploring the coast. Oh, they meet the Italian guys. Ooh, nice. They are expanding. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, they're also expanding on the coast here. Nice. Speaking of, Iberian coast. Yeah, the Greeks are exploring Iberia now. Because they like it, apparently. That's pretty nice. It's kind of like Italy, but like hotter. This explores the whole coast. They go Portugal. Yeah, I don't know why they don't want to explore the interior, but I guess that's just because they like following coast. So and technically it's not all of them, it's also their puppet and the French, because again, they kinda got right last episode, losing their African possession and completely collapsing in general. But yes, the Greeks are expanding a bit, they aren't expanding by a lot because it's still a lot of resources to build colonies. My bad, bro. We're not even like a Roman Empire level of tech right now. Like, yeah, we're probably like around I would say first to second Punic War tech, that level, which is still pretty good, especially because civilization here exists for like, I would say like by now it's like been like ever since the Ethiopian, that it's like that's like 20,000 years. Wait, no, maybe like more 30,000. Yeah, around 30,000 years civilization. And obviously like not everyone is like Greek level tech. Like for example, those guys aren't like in that first to second Punic War level. But like the highest tech, the country with the highest tech are like I said, first to second Punic War level of tech, which is still pretty good, but like it's not amazing either. Like it's not Middle Ages or like late Roman Empire, like even early Roman Empire. Like Julius Caesar had better shit, like it's not that good. So yeah, after my whole yapping session about technology, so the Greeks basically controls the entire Mediterranean Sea. Like it's crazy. And there is only one rival here. It's Egypt. They're pretty good. They're very strong. That might be annoying for the Greeks. So what do they? So those guys are kind of becoming a threat. So what does the Greeks do about that? What do they do? War. Because yes. So without the warning, you got the Greeks navy, like not trade navy, like war navy coming in, actually closing in, literally arriving here without opposition, because they're like, oh, I don't know what they're doing, but they're and as they're sieging this capital. So yes, their capital is being sieged, and yes, also you got their puppet invading. So that was really unexpected. But it's the Egyptians. They have a decent army, so they still managed to hold out. They managed to cut off the siege and basically do a counter siege of the Greek army. Like what just happens to that? The Greeks just leave, but that's still a huge casualty. The battle was pretty bloody for like both sides. So both sides really lost a lot of soldiers here, and the Egyptians just cut off the Mediterranean access. So now that means the only way the Greeks have to supply their troops is to go through this passage here. But guess what? The Egyptians put their navy here, so and when I say their navy, I mean their navies. The whole thing is just guarding here. So well, yes, the Greeks have a larger navy. They can't just they won't send their whole navy for this. Like that might lead to other countries joining the war. So what does the Greeks do? They try another invasion, you know, with some of their army going from Crete. They're like, yeah, we're going to invade them. They won't see it coming, and you know, they do land. And they're stuck. They can't advance because obviously, well, after the siege of their capital, you know, which lasted like 10 months, you know, that's a lot of months. So, you know, yeah, they prepared. They were like, yeah, no, we're not letting this happen. Not again. And, you know, they do try to link up with the Greek army. They do for a few seconds. And what happens is that, you know, the Egyptian army like, nope. No, you don't. Oh, also, we're pushing you back. I mean, slow, but... And you're out. Oh yeah, your Greek army is not liking that. Ooh. Yeah. And now they're even invading the Greek puppets. And, well, you might think, oh, well, the Egyptians are really doing well. And they're even attacking the Greek colony. Oh no. Yeah, they kind of forgot about the Greek colony here. So what happens is that the Greeks send a lot of their army here and just blitzes the defenses. I mean, they don't manage to go into the main population, but you know, they still... It was with the capital and most of the population, but you know, it's still a lot of damage. So that's really annoying for the Egyptians because they now have to send some of their army to actually defend here. Unfortunately, they arrive a bit late, and yes, the Greek army does manage to come back here and basically controlling most of the south of the country. And now they're doing basically instead of, you know, because you know the Egyptians thought that the Greeks would go right on for their capital. Instead, they just go for the forces here, which was not planned. So now the Greeks, you know, like 30% of the Egyptian army is either captured, killed, or you know, just switched sides. So yeah, the Greeks are definitely taking advantage. They land here, close to the capital. The Egyptians think, oh well, they're going on another siege, so we moved our forces to, you know, actually crush here. So, but that was a bait, because the true Greek forces are coming south, and you know, now most of the forces are literally close to the capital. So you know, that's a smaller area. The Greeks do attempt a many battle, you know, they lose a lot of ships, but finally they do manage to land and then capture the capital. And yeah, Egypt surrenders after that. So let's do the peace deal. So this is Egypt before the war, and this is the peace deal. Yeah, this is Egypt after. That is one big humiliation. Yeah, that's for sure. So yes, the capital and the most populated areas and economical important areas are annexed. The second most important areas are made into a puppet. The Greek puppet actually takes a bit of land, and yeah, this is Egypt now, which is basically it's the poorest area. So their capital is even here. Like, they even have to basically put their capital on the border. Like, they're ruined forever. So Greeks basically controls the whole Mediterranean now. Who is going to stop them? And they're even, you know, expanding in the Middle East even more, because now they actually have more money thanks to, you know, the war reparation. And yes, wait, I just realized I did something stupid. Yeah, so they take over that lake that they absolutely wanted for some reason. Don't ask me why they wanted that lake. Guess it was a really cool lake or something. But yeah, now they can do agriculture here. The Greeks also move their capital. Yeah, they move it. They move it from here to here. So yeah, that's cool. And yeah, after that wars and changing capitals, the one of the I mean, because obviously it's been a while since Greece exists, so it hasn't been the same king. But yeah, the king that did the campaign here is now dead, and is now replaced by his son, which he has to prove some shit. He has to prove that he's really good at war, and that he's like his father. He's really capable. So he's like, whoa, okay, so what do I do? Like, I'm not going to declare war on Syria because I might get jumped. That would be stupid. What do I do? Hey! Well, isn't that cool? There's Italy right here. And it's war. And yes, the Greeks are getting folded. Because this guy sucks at commanding his army. He really sucks. So the first few months are going like this. Yeah, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. So his first week of being a king is him losing a war. Like, his reputation does not start well. Thankfully, he has some great generals. They were promoted because of that by his father. So and those generals managed to actually kind of fix his war mistakes and actually go up to the capital of this country and capitulate it and make a peace deal. So yeah, it could have been really bad, but he takes a bit of land. He goes up there. So yeah, that was a risky move, and obviously everybody knows the first battles were lost. So yeah, his reputation is kind of like on the line here. And now we go to the Prussian guys because it's been a while. So what do? They expand, because that means they explore and they expand. Yes, after what happened here. If you don't know, well, go watch the previous episode. Like, if you didn't watch it, what are you doing here? Why are you watching here? And no, really though, that's my genuine question. What are you doing here if you haven't watched the previous episodes? No, I'm being serious though. Okay, those guys now really to the north. They're progressing. So yeah, I'll end the video here because it's basically been 34 minutes of me talking. So I mean, that's pre-editing. But yeah, see you next time. Probably with a all new world episode. Was Ian Palo Historian. Have a good whatever time of the day you have, and yeah, bye.